Well, hello everyone. This is Ron and Debbie, and we're back for another edition of Ask Ron. You ready to go, Ron?
I'm ready to go, but I'm sure glad I'm inside here. It's about 100 degrees outside right now.
Yep, the heat index is 114 today.
So all you folks waiting to move to Florida, you might want to wait till October.
Don't come now. Okay, first question is from Robert Straker from Oregon.
Robert?
Do you offer a bus tour for those successful investors who want more from their investing dollar?
We offer a virtual bus tour in our Quick Start school, but we haven't done a live bus tour in years and years and years. And believe me, the virtual is a whole much better because Jay Conner and I spent 2 days going out and filming houses, both ugly and pretty, of his. And when we do that video, we go through the houses, the ugly ones first, what would we fix, what would it cost, and so forth. And then you get to see the after repair version of it, which I tell you, it takes a lot of years off your learning curve. But we don't get on a bus anymore. We spend a lot of wasted time traveling around on the roads, going to houses that we shouldn't have probably even gone to. The training is so much better when we do it on video, cut out all the crap and take questions in the middle between each and every house. You'll even learn what Jay paid for the houses, what he spent on them, and then what he sold them for. You're going to be surprised at that. And you'll see why he can average $78,000 per house that he rehabs.
Okay, and Robert had another question. Do you ever plan on developing a program on landlording for those Ron Legrand members that have bought apartment buildings?
I am not going to do that, but I'll tell you who is got one, and he's great at it, and that's Lance Edwards. Lance speaks at my commercial boot camp, but I don't mind giving you his name. It's just Lance Edwards. He's a specialist in small apartments.
Okay. All right, next question. I don't have a student name, but this is from Montreal, Indiana.
Montreal, Indiana? I know there was a Montreal, Indiana.
If I do deals the way you say with my IRA and all profits go to my IRA, how can I have money to pay bills with and live off of if I'm full-time with this business?
Well, I don't expect you to do every deal you're going to do in your IRA, but I expect you to think about when you're writing a contract or before, am I okay cash-wise now? Can I live with money that I got outside the IRA? If the answer is yes, you do it in your IRA. If the answer is no, you do it outside. It's really that simple. But don't forget that money in the IRA is your money. You can take it out of your IRA anytime you want. And if you take out your contribution, it's tax-free. If you take it out and you're over 59 and a half, you're tax-free. If you're under 59 and a half, you'll pay taxes on the money you take out. But on the other hand, you're about to anyway if you do it outside the IRA. Don't forget, even if you pay taxes, taking the money out, when you have an opportunity to put that money back and not pay taxes on it. But you're better off not taking a draw of your own. And by the way, you cannot get compensated in any way for the efforts of your IRA. So you can't pay yourself out of a deal you're doing in the IRA. That could get your IRA annulled by the IRS and literally put you back in a position where you formed it, meaning penalties and interest. And no matter how far back it was. So we use, if you're going to do a deal in your IRA, the best deals are the deals that, good example, put a little money in your IRA, take $100 deposit and go tie up a property, flip that property, bring $30,000 or $40,000 in, it goes right into your IRA. And the next thing you know, your IRA's got plenty of money. But obviously nobody does all their deals inside of their IRA. So you're just going to have to choose, can I get through life if I put this in my IRA? But don't forget, it's your money. Okay. Just because it's in your IRA don't mean you can't take it out.
Okay. And then one more IRA question. How do I put my IRA as a lease for a lease option with seller? Do I just put the words IRA on the lease option contract as the lease, or is there another name designation that I put on the lease option contract?
If you put your IRA on the contract, I'm going to personally come spank you and lock you in a dark closet at night, at least 2 weeks. That is the worst thing you can do. If you are the lessee on that lease agreement and something goes wrong and you can't make those payments, your IRA is obligated to make those payments, and your seller can come collect them from your IRA. That's about the only way anybody can get into your IRA except the IRS. Don't ever, ever, ever put your IRA on title to anything, period. You take title in a land trust, you should have an LLC own the land trust, and then your IRA owns the LLC. So that's a special LLC set up just for your IRA to own it and operate within it and play by the rules. You got to understand the rules. We have an IRA course already, by the way, you can get here. It's pretty cheap. And I go through all the questions and answers and so forth about the IRA. In fact, we have a structuring your empire. I think, did we do the IRA on the last structuring your empire? We did?
I believe so.
Okay. Structuring the empire, it's all about asset protection, estate planning, and entity structuring and tax reduction. And I did it with Bob Bloom, the attorney that we use out in Dallas to send people to do their estate plan. So get on the GoClub site, you'll probably find, I think there's still a seminar on there about the IRA, but you should get my Structuring Your Empire course. And I don't even know what it costs. You know what it costs? I just taped it, by the way, a couple months ago.
We have the brand new one, $997.
$997. No, and there's no dot there now. Okay.
But also, when you, like you said, Ron, if you go on GoClub, you can go to the search engine at the top, just put in IRA, and it will bring up every single article, all the lesson videos.
Yeah.
Any Ask Ron where there have been questions on it will all pop up right there.
By the way, if you want to order that Structuring Your Empire course, tell them Ron said to give you, let you use 100 GoClub points on it.
Call in now.
You got to tell them. All right.
That's right. Okay, we'll tell them over there. Okay, next from Brian Carpenter from Utah. Ron has been doing this for as long as I've been alive, and everyone I call, Ron's Eagle, VAs, and other programs are calling. It is difficult to succeed when the same people are being contacted multiple times. I think your system could benefit from integrating a more modern approach that includes the best of artificial intelligence. What do you think, Ron?
I don't understand his question. What does he have a problem with?
Well, I think he's suggesting that that his leads maybe are being called by VAs. There's crossover, is what it sounds like, and he's suggesting that perhaps using AI could weed some of that out.
Okay, well, first, we're already using AI. Many of the sources for generating leads that I teach use AI. And it's an amazing tool, I can tell you that. But if you are concerned about your VAs calling the same leads, that's because your business is relying on all the leads we generate, which are people who advertise online and have a house for sale. Those are the lowest common denominator of leads, and you're going to have a tough time running a business just using those. So you got to get out and do your own lead generating and look for quality leads. That's people calling you. And, we have a whole list of it that long. I spent a half a day on that at the Quick Start School. In fact, we just did a new course on that too, didn't we? Generating quality leads. Get that. I don't even know what it costs. Don't matter. Get that. You'll have way more than you can do. Because in that, I actually interviewed the people that generate leads for you, and you just buy the leads, what they do, and what they cost and that kind of thing. So that could be a pretty important tool for you. Stop relying on the GoClub leads. Start relying on generating your own leads. Quality of the lead, way more valuable than somebody advertising online. Now, after saying that, okay, don't discard the GoClub leads. The last boot camp we did right here in Jacksonville, we got 9 deals with a total of 104 leads submitted, and it couldn't contact more than about 45 of them. 9 deals out of 45 phone calls on those GoClub leads, those worthless GoClub leads. I mean, 9 deals. Or orally negotiated with the terms and down and everything right here in class. Our mentors were calling leads that the students brought in, which they do at every live event. And I don't know if you've been to the live event or not. You didn't say, but Quick Start School is where you're going to get the basic training, and then you've got to start the implementation, and you're starting that before you even get out of the school with the sources we provide. 24-hour answering service and VAs to do everything, including making calls. Now, the BAs are going to be very important for them calling the leads you generate. You still need somebody to call and get the proper information sheet filled out. So do a mix. Use our GoClub leads and go out and start getting your own. And, I don't know how many you have to call with the GoClub leads, but I do know you should get more than 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15 on leads you generate. And so that's not very many phone calls to get a deal that could net you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
We never put all our eggs in one basket.
No.
All right. We have various sources, obviously. So you guys take advantage.
Yes.
Okay. Next is Steve Rice from Florida.
Steve?
Ron, I always buy properties with a land trust, always in a different land trust. My LLC owns all of my land trusts.
Good for you.
My question is, should I use the name of the land trust or use my LLC as the lessor?
Well, I don't know, Steve, if you watched my presentation on the 4 LLCs, A, B, C, and D. D is the LLC that doesn't own anything. Therefore, anytime I am at risk, I want D to be the one at risk because it don't own anything. Okay. So I would have D as the lessor or lessee actually on your lease. And then if anything ever come from that, because something happens, you couldn't make those lease payments, the most they can get is D, which owns the nothing. So D owns nothing. D doesn't even have a bank account. And if that were to happen, you go get yourself an E. That's why we use this entity structuring stuff for asset protection and estate planning. And if you haven't started that learning curve yet, it sounds like you have. And want to get started because it's going to take you a while to absorb how to keep predators from coming across the moat and getting into your castle, even when they know what you got.
Okay, next is from Autumn David, and Autumn did not give her state.
Okay.
So hopefully the question doesn't need it. When it comes to doing a wrap, do I want to cancel their policy as soon as we are closed or wait until the tenant is in the house?
Okay, well, first of all, you can't cancel their policy. It's their policy, not yours. You have the seller cancel their policy, as you should. And your new insurance company will probably cancel or call them and cancel it anyway, and then give them the new policy, which they have to have. Insurance is only good till the day you get the deed. And after that, it's got to be your policy. And you darn sure want to get that at or before you close. All right. Because people don't understand that the day that thing closes, that seller's insurance is worthless if they find out that the title's been transferred. So you get insurance. Your insurance is going to be cheaper than their insurance because you're getting a non-owner occupied policy, and it's quite a bit less inexpensive than an owner occupied policy because the owner occupied's got to cover all the stuff that they own and so forth. We are still using NREIG, National Real Estate Insurance Group. And somebody said that they quit writing in Florida, but we called them and they told us they still write in Florida. So they're non-owner occupied only, but that's what we're talking about here. And they're cheaper than most any company you're ever going to get to underwrite.
Okay, and then one other question from Autumn. I have written down that you have said the longest you give a tenant buyer is a 2-year term, and that when it expires, you typically don't say anything if they don't. Can something go wrong there if after 2 years you need to evict them but don't have a current lease agreement?
Okay, so what was their name?
Autumn.
Autumn, look, the day I hand them the keys, you're right, I'll give them an option agreement for 2 years and probably even a lease for 2 years. But if they don't exercise that option within 2 years, I have no more responsibility to them. And even if my lease expires in 2 years, look, everybody's not going to run their business like I don't care. I just let them sit there and keep on paying. Now, why would I do that? Well, one, let's see. Let's suppose they want to keep paying. Great, keep paying. Keep sending the rent in, and which most of my tenants do. Even though the option expired, it doesn't mean I got to kick them out. I've never kicked out a tenant because they didn't exercise their option. And the reality is most of them won't exercise their options. I just don't make a big deal if their option expires. So I don't worry about that kind of thing. And remember, they've given me a whole bunch of money up front or I'm not handing them the keys. So when you get that big chunk up front, all these things you worry about are not going to happen. If they do happen, they're insignificant. And anything you have to spend money on, you're using their money to do it. And, I love the part that I don't do the repairs. So that keeps them out of contact with us. So, it ain't like we're having conversations every month. We just collect the rent, deposit the rent. And as long as they want to do that, we'll keep on collecting. I just had a tenant move out. I've been in there 12 years. 12 years. Option expired 10 years ago. Okay. She kept on making the payments for all that time. And then finally she moved, and I don't even know where she went. And then I sold that house because it needed some work after that time. And she kept it where she could live in it, but it didn't need anything that would prevent her from living in it. And I have another one right down the street. I'm on my seventh tenant, and I bought that one in about 2014, I think. Seventh tenant. I've already collected more non-refundable deposits than I paid for the property. I love this business. I don't know if I answered the question or not. I think it was buried in there.
I think you did. Yes, you did. You definitely did. Okay, Ron, that's all we have for this week.
Okay. All right, guys, don't forget what we got coming up, Debbie.
We need to remind them of the summit.
Oh, yeah, that's the first week of August. The 3-day event is free, and it's got a whole bunch of quality people and a whole bunch of quality sessions, and I'm preparing several just for that event. So if you haven't already signed up for that, go ahead, and we'll spend an exciting 3 days together, and it's free, okay? It's free. If you're not happy, I'll give you twice your money back. I'm waiting to see if they got that. Okay.
Great. So they can just click the link below to register.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, we're not taping anything else coming up, are we? No. We got a boot camp right here in Jacksonville in 2 weeks, right here. And if you're sitting on the edge, you better get in, because price is going to go up not too far from now. And this is where you're going to get the basic training you need. You see, I can tell by your questions whether you've been trained or not most of the time. And honestly, if you think about it, how do you expect to get in this business and prosper without getting the training? I don't know a business that you can get in and stay in without getting trained. I think of the restaurant business, for example. In fact, I think you all should go buy a restaurant and you'll know what a really ugly business looks like. I mean, one that'll make you a fraction what you make with houses. In fact, may not make you anything. They're dropping like flies. So we have a business that's very rare. We have a very small monthly outgo and a very big income. I won't touch a house. And I mean this. I'm buying right now, got a full-time acquisitionist. I won't touch the house if we can't net at least 20 grand on it within 1 or 2 months. I turn down deals where I could have netted less, but they just are not worth our time. So show me a business like this where I can have almost no overhead and $20,000 plus checks. And then, of course, you could get several of those a month once you get in the business and get active. This is a rare business, and it does not require your credit. It does not require a bunch of money. Some money be nice, pay closing costs and maybe some small down payments, but you get that right back within a few days after you get the house. So this is a business that you can operate and feel safe in, because I've learned to protect you along the way, and where you're also going to get the training you need to get out there and start the implementation. And of course, we've even got mentors that you can work with as well. So, if you want to learn this business, we're the place. Might as well get going. Get going, come to Jacksonville, and I'll spend the time with you and get you moving. Okay. All right. Sermon over. See you guys next week.